Hi there, I'm Christine, the Gemini Stitcher, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, a few weeks ago, the lovely Sarah from Sew Sarah's Style reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do a collab with some fabric that both of us had bought. We've both finished our garments. Here's a little sneaky peek of mine. Not showing you any more of it yet. Watch the video and find out what I made. But we're going to start with some snippets from Sarah's vlog to give you an idea of what she made. But to see the full-blown glory of her garments, you'll need to go over and watch her vlog as well. But don't panic, I've made it easy for you. The link is going to be in the descriptions. So sit back, grab yourself a bevy or a brew and find out what I made in this amazeballs fabric.
With that in mind, I have got this fabric that I shamelessly copied the lovely Christine from Gemini Stitches, and she bought this from the Rag Market and she was showing it. She did sort of a dual vlog with Sam Sequin Girly, and they've both been to the Rag Market. And as soon as I saw this, excuse me, I've got my window open, there's things flying in. As soon as I saw this, I thought, oh, I want that. So first hurdle I thought I'd come on and show you is where on earth do you start cutting with a pattern like this. So obviously it's going to be a top and some trousers. So you've got to be really careful with your pattern placement for the top and also for the trousers. Wow, okay. Be interesting to see how Christine cuts around this. That's a bit too much like an alien for me. So that's the other side, but then those blobs will I'll probably have a nice blob on my backside there, won't I? Ah! Oh, Christine, I hope you have as much fun as I do. Yeah, so with that in mind, I'm going to be handing over the pattern placement baton to you, Christine. I'll be really interested to see what you make from it. So whether it's a dress or trousers, just be careful where you put in the patterns is my bit of advice. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and Christine, over to you.
Hi! Sarah from Sew Sarah's Style has set me the challenge of using this fabulous fabric that I got from the Rag Market in Birmingham, and then Sarah went and snaffled some up as well. She has already done her makes in this fabric, and I will pop the link to hers below. So go and watch the amazing garments that Sarah has already made. So now she's passed the fabric over to me, and it's up to me to decide what on earth I'm going to make. It is a fantastic fabric. I'll just whiz back and then you can see the scale of this. It's changing the light on the camera, so I do apologise, but how amazing is this? Now, Sarah had a few problems with her pattern placement. I'm just going to show you why. Obviously, I ain't going to put those pattern pieces, that piece of the pattern, on the bodice. Am I? Not that way round anyway. Sarah did a brilliant job, and I'm feeling the pressure. So it's panels. So let's just find the beginning of a panel, then you can see. Have I found it? Yeah. So there's the start of a panel, and it goes to there. Obviously, don't want that there. So it's whether I have it that way round or I turn it and have it that way round. Now, I have got a pattern in mind for this gorgeous fabric, just let me grab it. I'm back. So here's the pattern that I want to use, and it's the Butterick 6051 pattern, and I want to make that version there, which I'll show you the line drawing is view C. It's got a grown on sleeve, mock wrap, a waist and elastic in the back. Now you may have seen this before. The observant of you will know that this is the dress that my bestie Sharon made up for the gathering. I'll pop a picture of Sharon wearing her amazing outfit up there. She won a prize, you know. How amazeballs is that? So it's going to be the same dress, but in this beautiful fabric. Now I've noticed something about this fabric. Don't know if Sarah did or not, but it's got a print on the back. And you look at the back and you see it's got all these little flowers embossed into the fabric, which is absolutely gorgeous. But when you put it the front way, hang on a sec. God, it's got a life of its own. It's going to be fun to sew with this. When you put it the front way round, you don't really see it because it's very, very busy. So, what do we think? Do we think this fabric is going to work for that dress? I want it for my next holiday. I know, I've just got back and I'm going on another in 4 weeks. I'm going to cruise around the Med, and I think this will look amazing in that dress. So stick around. It's one I've not made before, but I helped Sharon make it, so I've sort of got an idea how it goes together. It's a fairly simple dress, and like Sarah said, because this fabric has got a life of its own, you don't want anything, and the pattern's so big, you don't want anything too complicated or too detailed. I want the fabric to do the work, not my sewing skills, if you know what I mean. So there's the dress. I'm going to go away now and get it cut out, and then I'll let you know how I've got on with the pattern placement. Wish me luck. Morning, morning. It's the next day and I've cut out my pattern. Took a while yesterday evening doing my pattern placement. Did it all in a single layer because of the huge size. But this, turn it round. So that's one of the front panel pieces. Hopefully it's going to go like that. So I'm not, although I've got pattern there, I've not got a big splodge over my boob area. And I've just popped on to show you. I've started on the bodice and I've put my fave forming tape on the inside. If you've not seen this before, it's an iron-on tape that's got a chain stitch sewn in it, and you can use it instead of doing your stay stitching to stop that seam from stretching out. Because when you cut on the diagonal, you create stretch in your fabric, and this particular seam here is going to go across the front there. So I've got to press it over and then doing this very well, and then turn it in on itself like that. And when you do that, even I found, even with stay stitching, when you're pressing it, it stretches out slightly. So then when you come to sew it, it can end up twisting. So by putting the forming tape in, fingers crossed, that won't happen. I've also just done, turn it around that way, then you can see, made a start. There's tacking stitches across here to do the gathers. So I'm going to make a start on the bodice, and then I'll come back and let you know how I'm getting on and what the fit's like when I've whizzed the bodice together. Well, I'm not whizzing it, I'm taking my time. This fabric is very, very drapey, so I want to be using clips, I think, and lots of them. I don't want the pins to leave marks in the fabric or pluck the fabric. I just want it to remain pristine. So I'm going to use clips for all my seams and see if that works. So I'm going to get this bodice sewn up and then I'll come back in a bit. Bye for now. Right, yeah, I know I've got a t-shirt underneath, but I don't want to flash my boobs. I've done the front edge, really pleased with it, lying really flat, and forming tape has done its trick. Brilliant. So at this point, it tells you to match up your front centre notches and tack it together at the bottom edge, which is what I have done, but tip top tip, I know it's hardly sewn together, but slip it on and see where that front V is lying on you, because if you're like me, you don't want to be too boobylicious. Now the front centres notches is there, and that's where I've joined it. So that's what, about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches further over than where they should be to make it higher up. So that's my tip. Before you carry on, or before you tack that bottom edge wrap over together where the centres are, clip it or pin it where it's meant to be, slip it on, see where that point is on you, and if it's too low, then simply wrap it over a little bit more. It won't make too much difference to the overall effect of the dress, because this bottom edge is all going to get gathered in anyway, so nobody will know that you've altered it, and it's a quick alteration on the boob area. Right, carry on, get the bodice finished. See you in a bit. Ta-da! We're getting there. So I'm fessing up now. I've gone rogue on how to put the waistband on, because when I did it with Sharon, it was bobbins instructions, and I know how to do these the way that my headspace works. So I've gone rogue now. So what I've done is, exactly as the pattern says, I've got my 2 front waistbands, interface them both, and basically what I've done with the back, it tells you only need 1 waistband piece. Doesn't make sense, so I've duplicated it and done 2 for the back, sewn them both into tubes, and then sandwiched the bodice in between both tubes all the way around, right sides together, so like that, and sewn them all the way around in a loop front and back. So that's where I'm up to. I'm liking the height of the front where the crossover is. I'm glad I brought it in a bit, because it would have probably been about there, I reckon, which I would have constantly been going like this and hutching it up, but the way it's falling is perfect for me. So I know it's a little bit hard to tell with the t-shirt underneath, but just ignore that. The back hasn't got the elastic in yet. I'm going back to the pattern instructions now to make the skirt bit, and then I'm going to attach the skirt to the outside waistband, and then the inside one will get pressed up all the way round, and then stitch in the ditch to attach it on the outside, so invisible stitching, but then I'll be leaving a decent gap in the centre of the back to sort the elastic out. But before we do that, let's get the skirt done. Now this is straightforward. There's 2 pieces. I will just grab one of them. Now this pattern worked really well. This is, I don't know if it's the front or the back here. The Russell, that's the pattern in the middle. So you've got a front and a back, both done on the fold. So I did them single layer. Tried to place it so that I got a big piece of the pattern down one side and a big piece of the pattern down the other. And it's worked out quite well, but we'll see how well when we get it all sewn together. So I'll bob, do the skirt, attach it to the front, do everything basically now, and then give you a twirl at the end. See you in a bit. Nearly there. Keep saying that, don't I? But the dress is done. I've just got to take the tacking stitches out from the waistband. Love how that's sitting. Loving that you can't see my boobs. It's a little bit higher up, which is more comfortable for me. I've put the elastic in the back, but it's bunching up a bit, so I'm going to do some lines of stitching to secure that in along the waistband. And then I've just got to turn it up. You can't see on here, it is actually floor length, so I want it ankle length, I think, so I need to take a couple of inches out. But yeah, actually rather pleased with this make. Pleased with the fact I haven't got those big circles on my boobs, and the skirt has got lots of the pattern in. So that's it for today. I'm going to hang it because viscose needs to drop and it's got quite a bit of weight in this skirt, so I'm going to leave it to hang for a couple of days and try it on again and decide on the length and hem it, and we're done. And then I'll give you a little twirl and the challenge is complete.